Hello and welcome to another in the series of Allegheny County Library System video instructions. Today we're going to talk about creating a video using Photostory 3. Photostory 3 simply takes your still photos and allows you to make a movie out of them and allows you to add your own narration. Photostory 3 is a free download. If you just do a search on Google for Microsoft Photostory, you should be able to find it. It's a quick download and quick install. What you can do with Photostory 3 and your photos is you can tell your story, you can document your procedures, you can record a special event, and all of these videos are postable, or in other words, you can put them on YouTube, you can add them to your website, you can show them to your county commissioners and your local funders, and really should do a snazzy show for them. So once you get it all loaded, simply just double-click on the icon for Photostory 3 for Windows, and you'll get to your initial screen. So today, we're just going to create a new story. So we're just going to keep that radio button clicked, and we're going to click on the Next button. The first step is we need to find the pictures and add them to our story. So what we want to do is click on Import Pictures, and our pictures today we've burned to a CD. So I'm going to click on the D drive, which is the local drive for the CD-ROM drive on my machine, so I'm going to click on that, and it shows me that it's got a bunch of pictures here. So what I want to do is select the ones I'm interested in, so I'm just going to press and hold the Control key, and then left click on these 4 to add them to my pile. Okay, so then I'm just going to click on the OK button. Alright, and you can see that they now are all lined up here in the bottom in the order that they were just on the hard drive. But what you can do is if you click on one, you can drag it over and make it the first picture. You can take the first picture, drag it over into the middle. These are ultimately, you can rearrange them and put them in any order. Just click on it and drag it around. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. You've got some editing options here. It works pretty well. You've got your rotate and flip buttons here if you want to take your horizontal picture and make it portrait. Okay, again, let me go to the next step here. And we can add captions. Captions or titles are simply a way to highlight stuff on your photos. Each of the photos can have a separate title or separate captions. What you want to do is in this box here, you can add the words or the text that you want to add for your titles. This little slanted A here is the button that allows you to change the fonts. It allows you to change the size of the text. It allows you to change the color of the text or the color of the font, because sometimes when you need to make your words stand out in the background. Let's see. These set of buttons right here allows you to change the position of your caption, whether it's left justified, right justified, at the top of the screen, the middle of the screen, or the bottom of the screen. Okay, so let's see how it goes here. We'll click on Next. In this example, I want my text to say Dr. Seuss is on the loose. I use my font button here to say I need it in yellow so that it stands out against the brown and the black background. And I use my position here to say I want that at the bottom of my slide. Okay, pretty straightforward. And then we can click on this button to go to the next slide and add captions throughout and out. Okay, so then we'll go to the next step, which is narrating or adding sound to your pictures. Of course, the first step you need is you need a microphone and the microphone jack in your computer to record your narration. Once you get it plugged in, it's probably a good idea to use this mic test button here just to make sure it's working for you. The other thing is, before you start recording, is it's really a good idea to have some notes handy to highlight what it is you want to say about each one of these slides. That way there's not a lot of ums and ahs and you'll manage to capture everything you wanted to say before you go on to the next slide and have to go, oh, I meant to go back to the other one. And as I said, each photo can have its own separate set of narration. And the longer you talk, the longer this slide will display on the screen. So that's how it knows the timing. Okay, again, this is the record button. It allows you to start. Click on the record button, start talking. When you're finished, click on the stop button. If you don't like what you sounded like or you don't like what you said, just click here on the do-over button. All right, pretty straightforward. You're going to have a lot of takes on that. It's a lot of fun to try and listen to yourself. Just have fun with it. All right, we're going to the next step. We want to make some transitions. Let's say we want to highlight Horton hatches the egg in this particular photo. So I'm going to click on this Customize Motion button. And then it didn't seem to work, so I'm going to do it one more time, and you'll see what's going to happen here. I click on it. And it brings me to this screen, and I can say I want it to start with the full picture, but then at the end of it, in a couple of seconds, I want to highlight and just show the Horton here's the egg. So what I did is I simply highlighted what I wanted to do, clicked on the Save button, and then close this window, and then to see what it looks like, I'm going to click on Preview. And it's going to compile itself. And you'll see that the slide, the little window that pops up, it focuses from the full screen of all 5 books to just down to the one about Horton hatching the egg. Okay? So that shows you how to, one of the neat transitions, the ones that I use a lot, is to highlight. You can also start with a small picture and make it go big. So, alright, so now we're going to go to the next slide and the next piece, which is adding background music. This is a fun part. When we work with the kids at Northeast Elementary, this is where they spent most of their time. You can select music if you have a record or something on your hard drive that you want to use. But today we're going to create music where we get to choose from over 100 different types of music and a couple different styles. So I'm just going to click on Create Music here. We get an intermediary window where we get to choose the genre of the music, what kind of style, what kind of band sound we want, and what mood would we have. Also, you can choose the tempo to speed it up or slow it down, or the intensity. Once you pick it, you can click on the play button, hear what it sounds like, and if you like it, click on OK. If not, have some whole new selections. So today I'm going to use Power Dance as my style. I'm a synth-sized band, and I want to have a cheerful sound, so I like that. So I'm going to click on the OK button and move to the next step. And you can see here in the background screen, or the musical background screen, that it then added the type of music, the background music that we chose here in the background music bar. So it tells us that's the background music for all of these slides. Okay. Alright, the other thing to note is I have found that if you take the background music and move it towards the low end, make the volume really low on that, it tends to work better with the narration, because it won't drown out the narration if you have the background music nice and low. Okay, so then we're going to go to the last step by clicking on the next button, and we typically are going to play this on a computer, so we're just going to leave that there. And then we need to save our story. So the first time we want to save our story, we want to save it as a project, and that means it's a Photostory file, and it's going to make it easier to bring it up again in case we have to go back and make any changes or any edits. So we basically click on Save Project, and up pops a dialog box that says, what do you want to call this thing, where do you want to put it? So basically you give it a name, and it calls it a WP3, which Microsoft knows is a Photostory file, and you click on Save, and away you go. Now the second time is we're saving our production, our Windows Media Video. So we start by giving it a name and a location here in this box, in the file name box, and we can browse to our location, or we can just type it in if we know it. Once we know that, or once we have the name and a location of our Windows Media Video, we go ahead and click on the Next button. What happens is you get a couple of screens that pop up. It tells you it's compiling our dance music, it's compiling our audio, it's putting our pictures together, and it's doing all kinds of things. Once that's all done, basically you come to the final screen, which says you've created your story successfully. Again, it tells you the name that you used, it gives you the location and the size of it, and you have the option of taking a look at it or creating another story. As I said, it creates a Windows Media Video file. But you don't have to leave it that way. By default, a Windows Media Video will play on Windows Media Player. But if you wanted to use it in QuickTime on Apple, or you wanted to convert it to a Flash video or an AVI or an MP4, you can use another free converter web-based file system out there. One of the ones that I've used successfully in the past is something called Zamzar, and that's www.zamzar.com. You basically point it at your at the file you want to convert. You tell it what format you want it to come out in, and it uploads and then sends you back the file. So anyway, it's a really neat tool to take your still photos and turn them into a great video. Add your own narration, add your own music, have lots of fun. As I said, it's a great tool for telling your library story. It's a great tool to document a procedure. It's just a fun tool. I hope you have fun with it, and don't worry, you can't break it. Thanks. Bye-bye.